40 years, hard to believe. He and his sister is married to my brother, and so I've known him since he was quite a young guy with a guitar and a love for Irish music and Irish folk songs. That hasn't changed any, but I have watched him grow and just be an amazing public servant. From the first time he got involved with community leadership to running for city council in the city of Baltimore. 8 years he served as a city councilman in that very, very huge job, and saw some amazing things happen, and then ended up running for the mayor of Baltimore, and was for 8 years the mayor of Baltimore, and just had amazing accomplishments, particularly with the public safety. He had amazing statistics where the crime rate was reduced by just incredible amounts, and just really thorough, smart government was what Martin brought to Baltimore. So it was wonderful watching all that, all the while having a real interest in education. Of course, that's something that's very dear to our hearts here locally, and also the environment. After his 8 years as mayor, he ran for governor and served the state of Maryland for 8 years as the governor, and there was able to accomplish even more with cleaning up the Chesapeake Bay. I believe he said it was that's been the cleanest it's been since 1985, and just having the foresight to really take care of the things that are important for our future. So between just good management of the government, and also his focus on education, the children, and the environment, he is somebody that we can all learn from and really get excited about and continue to learn from. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce our very honored guest. I'm so honored to welcome Governor Martin O'Malley. Thank you.
Thanks very, very much. God bless you all. I'm going to do a couple of things here. Can I steal a chair to get up on top of? I spent most of the last year in Iowa, and you can't give a talk in a restaurant without standing on a chair in Iowa. Thank you very, very much. Perfect. The other thing I'm going to do, I want you to notice here, before I take off my jacket, that I have the Star-Spangled Banner on the lapel, and it is flanked by the buttons of two strong women, Hillary Clinton and Monica Thibodeau. Here we go. Hey, it's great to be with all of you. Turn to your neighbor and say it's great to be a Democrat in Dare County. Go ahead. I was just upstairs with the great Mark Basnight. And had a great talk with him. I was reminded in listening to him of something an Irishman named Michael Collins once said, and that is, I far prefer the company of old people in the darkness to that of young people in the daylight. And he was, we were watching Senator at CNN and the ticker and that carnival barker Donald Trump flashing across the screen there. And Mark Basnight pointed to the TV screen and he said, this is going to make us better and stronger as a country, and you better make sure that that's true, folks in Dare County. So let me thank Senator Oban. Senator, thank you. Senator and Fountain and I spoke on the phone, and he was the first guy to sign up, and he was the biggest name I had in North Carolina for my nascent presidential campaign. And I said to him, I'm just sorry I couldn't have opened up a lane so I could have gotten you some votes here behind your enthusiasm. But Senator, thanks for your leadership and everything you've done for us. And Warren Judge, I'm seeing your signs all over the place. Monica was singing your praises to me. Good luck to you, and thank you for all you've done for this region and everything you continue to do. And Brownie, I saw a big piece of direct mail in Monica's mail today that had a picture of a strange-looking man in a strange sort of swimsuit on the front of it. who doesn't appreciate that we have to keep the waters of Currituck Sound actually healthy enough for fish and the other living things so we don't have to swim in a toxic cleanup suit. So thank you for running. Big round of applause for running through that. I also was looking at another piece of mail that came through the door, and it had names like Danny Couch and Rosemary Dosher and John Towler on it. And my favorite, don't tell the others, Monica Thibodeau on it as well. That's a good-looking ticket. It looked like the Fabulous Four. They could be on a new action hero movie. Let me talk with you a little bit about this election, about how important your work is, and just how important it is to build our party from the ground up. You know, we kind of lost sight, I think, as a Democrat. I think we lost sight of the fact that the party's strong only when the party is built from the ground up. You can't, however dynamic the personalities are that we nominate to be President of the United States, they can't get a damn thing done unless they have a party behind them. It would be nice if we have transformed and transcended the age of partisanship, but we're not there yet. And quite honestly, I want to wish the best to my friends who are Republicans in the tradition of Lincoln, that one day they may get their party back, because this eagle flies a lot better when its left and right wings are both flapping, don't you think? Well, we've got to have a strong party. You've got a terrific governor candidate in Roy Cooper, your attorney general. I've met him on many occasions. He would restore that sort of forward drive in North Carolina that made all of you so proud under Governor Hunt. Everybody from all over the world was coming around to see the research triangle. They were envious of the strides you made in education and higher education. It is not the direction that Pat McCrory has taken your state. You deserve better, North Carolina, and this election you can have better. I was out with Monica today, and I was touring some of the great things that she's done. Hello, man. How are you? This is Monica's mom. The first mom. Big round of applause. It's hard being the mother of the candidate, isn't it? Yeah, well, maybe my mom and you can have a mutual support group, and you can figure out how that all works. But I was with your daughter, Ann, and we were touring Duck, where you and your family have been so kind to host mine and so many great summers down here. And Monica was showing me the boardwalk there. Didn't happen by itself. Took leadership. Took bringing people together. Took forward-thinking people like Senator Odom and Warren and Senator Basnight to create those grant funds that allowed that to happen. She showed me the amphitheater. And the amphitheater in the woods, the amphitheater in the open grass. She showed me how the sidewalks connect her community, and she showed me all the ways that they could be connected to become even stronger. And that's what good leaders do, don't they? They roll up their sleeve. They're not about ideology. They're about getting things done. They're about connecting people and about connecting our actions today to a very important group of people, and that group is our kids and our grandkids, some of whom we have never met. So when this dynamic county ticket talks about the economy, talks about education, talks about the environment, talks about employment, the dignity of work, Senator, you said it best, I think, dignity, humanity, the fact that we're all in this together. You know, it's really about our kids, and it's about their future. Quick story. My son William is 9 years old, or was 9 years old when he's now 18, like your son Matt. They grow up fast. But when my son was 9, he was a real precocious kid. And he said he was watching a special on the History Channel, and I happened to be home on a rare night. And it was all about Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott. And William's watching this, and he says to me, "Hey, Dad, back then," by which he meant sometime after the dinosaurs had died and before the 8-track tape, he said, "Back then, somebody told you guys some people had to ride in the front of the bus, and some people had to ride in the back, and you actually listened? I said, well, Will, man, it's hard to explain, but that had just been the way it had always been. And he said, with the clarity of youth, the wisdom of youth, he looked me right in the eye and he said, well, Dad, didn't you all know back then that you were all going to the same place? Yeah, we're all going to the same place. We are all going to the same place, and place matters. And that's why this team that you have in Dare County and your county commissioners are so important. Monica said to me, when we were out there, she said, you know, I love where I live. I can't imagine a better recommendation to give to you. I could rattle off the things that she's done in local government or the things that she's done in business, but the most important endorsement that she can share with you is that she loves where she lives. She says, this place brings me peace. And indeed it does. That's why you all choose to live here as well. The place we choose to live does bring us peace. Peace of mind between nature and mankind, and we have the ability to make it better. We are involved in a big constitutional crisis right now, in case you haven't seen it, on television. Monday night will be the first debates, right? Hopefully a lot of Americans tune in. Because if they do, and when they do, they will see that there is only one candidate for President of the United States who is qualified to be Commander-in-Chief. I am one of the few people who could appear in front of you here in North Carolina and tell you that I have worked with Secretary Clinton and I have campaigned against Hillary Clinton. And I can tell you, for the tough job of President of the United States, she is one tough person. She has been through a lot. She has experience. She's had successes. She's had failures. And most importantly, she has a heart that understands that we are all in this together. That our economy is not money. It is people. It is all of our people. So unlike the other fella that's hijacked the other party, Hillary Clinton believes that, yes, you should get a decent day's pay when you work hard. No family who plays by the rules should raise their kids in poverty. She believes in equal pay for equal work for men and women because that helps all of us. And unlike the other fella, she actually believes in science. She understands that our well-being actually depends on the well-being of the other living systems of this earth. I'll tell you what Donald Trump has actually said, that climate change is a hoax invented by the Chinese to hurt America. I'll tell you what, if the Chinese were actually capable of creating a diabolical plot to hurt the United States of America, they would not have invented climate change. They would have invented Donald Trump. Climate change is real. So is the threat, but so is the opportunity. It's a business opportunity the likes of which the United States of America hasn't seen in 100 years. There are jobs to be created here by figuring out how our technology as the most innovative people on the planet can be brought forward, not only to create a more life-giving future, but to save this planet and to put our people to work. We're the only species on the planet without full employment. We need work. And this is the challenge that can put our people to work. Let me touch on one other issue, and it's very important in this race. How many of you saw Mrs. Obama at the convention give her talk? She was good, wasn't she? I've been lucky enough to go to a few conventions. I don't think I've ever seen a better talk given than what Mrs. Obama said. She said, when they go low, we go high. And I think that's very, very true. We need to talk about the values that unite us as a people. The dignity of every person. The common good we share. The understanding that we're all in this together. But we also have to be very clear, without anger and without fear, in calling out the fascist appeals that Donald Trump has chosen to be the basis of his candidacy. This is something he chose to do. And not to call out the things that he chooses to do would be irresponsible for us as Democrats. Not enough by itself, We have to offer that positive vision story, that vision forward, that story where we increase the workforce, the skills of our workforce, the education levels of our children, affordable college, that ladder to economic opportunity. But it's also very important for us to call out these sorts of fascist appeals for what they are. In classic fashion, his MO is to put all of us in fear that our greatness is somehow being robbed by an ethnic minority. You know, net immigration from Mexico last year was zero. He's saying the same things about people coming from Latin America that were said about my great-grandparents, Irish and German people who also couldn't speak the language. And yes, I am part Irish and part German, which means that I like to give orders and I don't like to take them. Unlike that immigrant-bashing carnival barker Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton understands that the enduring symbol of our country is not the barbed wire fence. It's the Statue of Liberty. We are a great people. We have an obligation and a responsibility, and let's make it a joy, shall we? It's a joy to be living right now. No group of Americans in over 100 years have cast ballots in a more important election than what you're about to do here in Dare County when this election is upon us in just 50 days. We still have time to become great ancestors. We need to craft a new story, not of depletion, not of consumption, not of growth for the sake of growth, but a new story of balance, of well-being, of respect for one another, of truth about ourselves. Really, that's what it means to be an American, isn't it? To wake up every day facing the future. So I'm psyched to be with you guys. I had no idea that in traveling for Hillary Clinton, I'd have an opportunity to get up on a paddleboard and then go visit the beach at Jeanette Pier up here. Jeanette Pier is beautiful, by the way. Public officials, citizens, pat yourselves on the back for that. But look, we've got to get out and vote. I suspect that this election will be kind of nip and tuck, and the pollsters really don't know how to call it. I suspect from my own experience out there that there's a lot of people so angry they just want to break the kitchen table rather than figuring out better ways to put food on that table. It's our job to talk to our neighbors, not to belittle them, not to walk away from the conversation, but to engage them on what's best for our future and for our children's future. That's what this election needs to be about. So make sure you tune in on Monday night. More importantly, make sure you get your neighbors to tune in, not to reality TV, but to reality in America. We've gone through a long recession. We're doing better. Our country's creating jobs again. No winning football team ever walked off the field at halftime. Democrats were at halftime. We need to get wages to go up. We need to make college more affordable. Let's win this election for Hillary Clinton, for Tim Kaine, and for our kids' future. Thank you guys very much for coming out.